Gail, you were first on the call, so how about we start with you? What's your connection, your history with the festival?
With the festival, so obviously the festival's been going a long time and have always watched it myself, but didn't get involved until my daughter Jordan ran for Junior Princess, and then again she ran for Queen, and then after she'd finished her time, I joined the committee and have been on the committee ever since, organising the festival and helping the entrants and being a liaison between Australia and Canada. Jacinda, for the visitors.
Yeah. And Jacinda, how about we review your connection to the festival as well as the Queen Quest?
Yeah, so I first entered as a junior entrant in 2009, and then decided that let's take it to the next step and raise money for a local charity, and enter the Queen Quest in 2017. So that was my link to the festival. And then I just have joined the committee ever since, and am loving my time helping young girls in the community try and achieve something that they probably thought they couldn't achieve, and grow in confidence as well.
So the reason that we have Gail and Jacinda with us today is we're going to be talking in a little bit about the fact that the 50th anniversary of the Central Highlands Sunflower Festival is coming up in 2026, which, yes, I realize is a year from now, but there's a reason why. We'll get to that in a bit. Just for our Southern Manitoba listeners, if one of you could maybe briefly touch on the history of the festival, like how did it begin? When did it begin? Has it always been in the Emerald area? That kind of stuff.
Well, it started back with a group of people that wanted to celebrate the sunflower industry that was really big in the Central Highlands at the time. It's always been in Emerald and the Central Highlands. And they started it back in the 70s, and it has changed a bit over the years. But and then that group of people just took it forward, and it was a volunteer group, and it's still a volunteer group that hasn't changed on who organises it. And yeah, they've linked up with obviously Altona's, the Manitoba Sunflower Festival back in the 80s, when they met up with some local Canadians at a conference, and we have been linked together ever since. So it's just showing a bit of pride in our regional area. Even though sunflowers aren't as big now due to various reasons, it's such a pretty flower. And we both share the sunflower painting.
You know, it's interesting, Jacinda and Gail. We always talk, at least here in Southern Manitoba, from our perspective of what it's been like to have this relationship with yourselves and the community of Emerald and the festival committee. I'm interested to hear from your side of the conversation, your context in Australia. What has it been like to have this relationship with a community similar sized, literally on the other side of the world that's kind of doing some similar stuff?
It's a great experience, really, and being able to connect with people that you would never have crossed paths with any other way, I guess. So yes, our festivals are a little different, but we are trying to achieve the same outcome, which is great. And I think the connections that you make with the families that are not just for that week or 2 weeks, it definitely is years of a friendship or whatever that relationship turns into with that family. So it is a special relationship that you create, that you wouldn't have had that experience.
I'd love to hear from you, Gail, from the mom perspective of what it was like to travel to Southern Manitoba, be here with your daughter in Altona, and experience what we do here, all a part of our festival.
I think it's just one of the best experiences I've had. Like, everyone is so welcoming when you come over. Everyone wants to talk to you. I loved meeting all the people. I loved seeing the area and what you're doing in your area, and the fact that the families can show us around, like the non-tourist stuff, like It's all well and good to visit as a tourist and see some stuff, but you get that special stuff that you don't get if you were a tourist. And just making those friendships. Like, obviously, I made friends with mothers of the queens and that in Manitoba, and it's just special. And watching Jordan participate in your festival, and I love the enjoyment she got out of it as well, and seeing her enjoy it and making the friends, and then wanting to be there for a while because it was such a nice place.
Well, and that kind of leads us into, talking a little bit about the Queen Quest from both of your perspectives. The big reason that we're chatting today, again, the 50th anniversary of the Central Highlands Sunflower Festival is coming up next year, 2026. But we're talking today why. So who would like to tell us about why we're chatting today and getting this word out there so early?
We would love to see people come back for it. People that have travelled here before as a queen or as a family member, or even like any of the committee members, anyone that's travelled, anyone that hasn't travelled that wanted to travel. We'd love to see them come over and celebrate with us. And we're hoping to have a few special events next year at the festival just to make it stand out a little bit more and be a bit special because it is the 50th. But we would just love, or even just, if they can't come over, just some stories or some photos of their time when they were here that we can use for social media or for our booklet that we put out with it each year. We just want to reconnect with some of the people that have been involved over the 50 years. And yeah, I think it'd be special. It's a big milestone that things like this don't always reach.
Jacinda, I'd love to get your thoughts as well about, doing this invitation to all of us back here in Southern Manitoba to come join you in 2026.
When would you get another experience or an opportunity to be able to travel and link back with some of the people that you have met over the years, and also, I guess, reminisce on experiences that you had in the quest? So I think being able to be involved in another festival is something really great, and I personally will look forward to that opportunity, as will so many others.
So at this point, go ahead, Gail.
Sorry, I was just going to add, and if you are coming over and you were a past queen or first princess or second princess, bring your sash, bring your tiara if you've still got them, because we will love to get photos. We'll even have you in the parade. It'll be great.
So at this point, as all of our listeners here in Southern Manitoba are learning of this, is there something that you would like folks to do once they've kind of made the decision? Yes, you know what? We are going to come to Emerald in 2026 to be a part of the 50th festival.
I'll have an email address set up specifically for the festival that they can email, which I can get to you soon. Or they can get in touch with Adina Schallenberg. That's it. We're in touch with Adina quite regularly through the festival as entrant coordinators. So if they don't have the email address, they can get in touch with Adina and she can pass details on to us.
Now, you mentioned that there are hopefully going to be some special events, and I realize we're like more than 365 days away, but have you already got some ideas of what maybe you will be doing? Now, I'll be clear, I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm not going to come back a year from now and say, okay, you didn't do this. But have you got some ideas of what you might like to do?
We have thrown out there before about doing a ball. Gail, correct me if I am wrong. But that's, so we used to offer a cocktail. We used to run a cocktail evening, a little bit of our more fancier event, but we thought, why don't take it to the next level and just go all out? And yeah, maybe a ball event would be something great and something really quite royal, I guess, for the festival.
We've got the music and mingle in the park on the Sunday. Maybe we could get a special artist to perform at that just to make it a bit bigger. We've got a few ideas floating around on some special events just for next year. It'll just be a bit bigger than a normal festival.
And perhaps
So,
we should give folks just a general idea of when the 50th anniversary festival will be. Again, the Central Highlands Sunflower Festival. What are we looking at for general dates when we look at 2026?
Well, it'll be at Easter, the week leading up to Easter.
Easter is Sunday, the 5th of April, so it'll start on the Sunday prior.
But the main stuff will be the Easter weekend. So if they can't get here and can only spend the Easter week end part, they will get most of the festival. But we will have stuff in that week leading up to it as well.
The 4th of April will be the most important date.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap up with this, and I'll have each of you take an opportunity to share. From your perspective, I guess kind of two ways. One, Jacinda, as a former Queen Quest participant, and two, now as part of the committee, how important is it to you to see as many folks from Southern Manitoba that were tied to the Manitoba Sunflower Festival make the trip to Emerald next year?
I think it's really important to be able to continue on the traditions that have been going for such a long time. And not only that, but to also spread the word about the festival and the opportunities that it provides. You're not just representing in your hometown, but you're representing abroad as well. So I think there's lots of great and important opportunities linked to the festival.
And same question for you, Gail. Just how important is it to you to see the folks, get on the big Boeing and make their way to Emerald next year?
I think it's a great opportunity to revisit something that you've enjoyed and just reconnecting with people and having that opportunity to share stories from like your experience and being able to share it with people that have experienced it themselves. I think it'd be just fantastic and bringing those generations together, like 50 years, like you're looking at 2 or 3 different generations that have gone through and they've all had different experiences. I think that's also fantastic because things have changed over the years.